right, welcome back. We are at Consensus Singapore. I'm Benny, once again with CoinsNetwork, and we're here with Natalia from Propy. So, yeah.
Hi.
We're here to talk about Propy, and for the folks at home, why don't you just explain what Propy is?
Sure. Propy is a Silicon Valley-based company which is using blockchain to automate real estate purchase trading. It's Amazon for real estate.
So, has Propy been launched? What phase is it in currently?
The company is incorporated 3 years ago. A year ago we made our token sale. The token is currently being tradable on Bittrex, Upbit and other exchanges. And the utility of the token is to unlock smart contracts when we do real estate purchase steps.
And is all the real estate regionalized, or is it a global kind of technology right now?
We're trying to get to the point where our technology will be globally adopted by many governments and real estate corporations. But of course, to go with lean Silicon Valley approach, we do our first transactions now in the US and European Union.
Okay, so do you have any use cases currently in the US or European Union?
Yeah, we have tons of use cases. So first of all, we did our first transactions in California, Arizona, and Vermont. They were entirely online deals on our transaction platform on Propy. And all the documents, purchase agreement, paperwork, and payment was powered by smart contract. And in the end of the deal, the title deed had a blockchain address to all the previous steps. Besides that, we also work with governments, those who are willing to have title management on blockchain. And these are use cases in Vermont and Ukraine.
And so for these use cases, have you seen kind of any issues from it? I know, just thinking about, property management wise, or property sales wise, every county and every state operates completely differently. Has that been like a challenge for you guys to just,
It's been an interesting learning experience. Our MIT scientists, lawyers in-house were dealing with those challenges to make the process with one single standard to make it very similar to different jurisdictions. So this is why we have built adaptive transaction platform that could be easily adapted to different jurisdictions. But in the end of the day, real estate is all about paperwork, payment, and then getting this piece of paper with ownership transfer.
Right.
So the principles are the same all over the world. However, the steps are different, the roles are different. For example, in the US, a title company would sign off on the paper. In European Union, a notary would sign off. But we did those first transactions through this year after the token sale to actually prove that our technology works in multiple countries, and those roles could be changed easily on our platform, whether it will be a title company or notary. But back to your point about fragmentation, in the US there are 3,000 counties, and each of them have to record the title transfer, while in other countries normally it's just one centralized registry. So those county clerks have tremendous headache because they have to hire software companies and update their software every year.
Right.
And those vendors are just a couple of those. There is no one unified software, so they are willing to make this cost effective. Instead of spending millions of dollars per each county, you can adopt one technology on blockchain and not to be worried about those backups and servers. What will happen to your registry? Like in Vermont, for example, they had a fire, and so they destroyed some records. In San Francisco, they had an earthquake when some damages were happened. In some counties, they don't still have digitized.
So they still use paperwork.
Paperwork.
Wow.
And they are ready just to jump directly into blockchain power registry.
It's like going from like a stagecoach to a car, but somehow just no horse and buggy in between, just like...
Absolutely, which is great, right?
Which is great, and that's just crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But
And then And then the central government, the federal authorities can actually, on blockchain, have audit of all the records through the states if it's everything united and unified on blockchain.
Gotcha. And you discussed a little bit about payment. So with Propy, are you still using regular fiat, or is it different?
Yeah. We're using
coin payments?
Crypto payment. So for example, last year we did our first transaction with Ether, and Ether were transferred to the seller of the apartment. Not actually to the seller, first to the smart contract. The smart contract played the role of escrow agent. And then they were distributed once all the parties signed off. But today we have capability also to accept dollars, euros, and other fiat currencies, where we receive information from money transmitters whether the payment is received or not, and then smart contract executes the next step of the transaction.
Gotcha. So is there going to be a time in the future where someone could ultimately buy like a house with a cryptocurrency with Propy?
Well, we already have those.
We
have a number of those transactions in California. Soon one more country to join out of the United States and to be announced, where people were acquiring properties with Bitcoin and receiving the traditional title deed with the blockchain address on it, where you can see all the history of the transaction. And brokers, notaries, title companies love the transaction platform at Propy because it's transparent and they're sure that nobody can interfere with historical data.
Right. And I guess is there any other kind of project out there that's doing the same that Propy is doing that you know of?
Yeah, there are. So we are focusing on transaction platform and title registry. There are two products. So on transaction platform, we haven't seen much going on in the blockchain's industry. But on the title management, there are quite big serious companies working with different governments, including Bitfury, who are here, Chromaway in Sweden, and Consensus. So there are a number of companies. We're trying to be collaborative and share the experiments because it's still all about collaboration, being transparent to each other, and experimenting. Because governments, what our business model works in a way that we provide the technology to the government free or almost for free, and then the citizens are paying the tokens in order to have their transactions recorded on the registry. So in order to get there to this adoption, there is a need of the government also to accept the token payment, the cryptocurrency payment for administrative purposes.
So say when governments start being a little more lax on, accepting token payment, is that ultimately going to help Propy in the future with just...
Well, they're already willing. They just need to adjust their current laws or introduce new laws. So our first steps of engaging with governments, for now we're engaged with 5 governments. The first steps were actually to make the pilot of the project and proof of concept, so that we educate those clerks how blockchain works, what does it mean. So for now they have their old registry and blockchain registry at Propy. They do the same work here and there, but in the future we hope that the old system will be redundant. And then the next step would be also to adopt the monetization of the registry in form of cryptocurrency payment. But we already had some cases where notaries accepted Bitcoin payment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can, start wrapping things up. What's on the horizon for Propy? What's like the next 1 month looking like? I mean, is there anything new coming or?
Yeah, there are many things coming. One thing on tokenization of real estate, which is a huge topic, and we're only waiting security exchanges to be launched in order to have tokens representing real estate tradable. The other thing is that in the next month we're having new transactions in different jurisdictions, again to polish our adaptive transaction platform. And then from the end of the year, we're hoping to start to scale, to have tens and then hundreds of transactions monthly.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I wish you guys the best luck. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the consensus.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
And once again, this is Benny of the Coins Network. I was just here with Natalia from Propy. Thank you.